and a warm welcome to today's episode of Digital Dialogues that is brought to you by CXO Digital Pulse. In this rapidly evolving landscape of artificial intelligence, understanding the key developments, strategic approaches, and challenges are crucial for both the practitioners as well as the enthusiasts. Let's delve into this space with our guest today, Abhishek Dutta, who's the Director, Data Science and AI at Affine. A warm welcome, Abhishek.
Thank you so much for having me, Pratik.
It's definitely our pleasure to have you with us today. So I'll directly jump on to our conversation, Abhishek, for our viewers. So over the past couple of years, AI has transitioned from emerging player as a technology aspect to a central figure in the AI world, or say AI field, generating considerable excitement and discussions. So if you could just, for our viewers, elaborate on the key factors and developments that have driven the evolution and helped shape the buzz around the OpenAI today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that question. It's a very interesting question. So I think it's primarily to do with the amount of innovation and research that has been happening over a period of time. I think in 2012, approximately, AI was still something that was off the shelf and in the labs. But I think OpenAI and certain other ventures where crowdsourcing started, that really culminated into the development of AI that you see, especially on the GenAI side that you have seen, where it's not only the corporates who have invested, but individual researchers and laboratories have also been instrumental in driving the growth of AI. And some groundbreaking research and development has happened in this field, from the induction of computer vision to large language models. It has been, and more open sourced innovation that has also come in the form of Mistral, Claude, from the labs, that has really culminated into the advancement of AI and generative AI as you see it today. And of course,
Mhm.
with that, there has been a lot of focus on safety and alignment, frameworks of responsible AI that the platforms have brought in, and that has actually helped in the growth of AI. Apart from that, there has been collaborations with technology giants like OpenAI plus Microsoft, and some emerging applications in terms of writing code, correcting code, debugging, as well as generating content on its own, which has all culminated into the media coverage and the public interest that has driven AI to its stage today. And that's something that we see even today in this conversation as well while we are having this.
Definitely. And as you said, the work has been there being done by the data scientist, and it's been almost a decade, I would say, no less than that, where all these platforms and the intensive effort has been there going to create these models. And I would say each model over here has its own unique strengths and application areas as well, because the kind of data culmination required, the coding, as you mentioned, uh, that actually takes a lot of time and effort. So, in your view, how do these platforms and models compare? And what do you believe is the most effective approach for leveraging these, or say, their capabilities in various data science projects?
Absolutely. So I think the platforms by themselves, they provide the infrastructure and the tools, right, for building, training, or deploying something that is pre-built. So that's the major advancements that the platforms have brought in to something that used to take, say, 3 to 5 weeks earlier to basically build something from scratch. That can be done maybe in a couple of hours today. So that's where the platforms have played an instrumental part, and that includes, like Azure ML, Amazon SageMaker, Google platforms. So it basically the entire environment and the ecosystem that has been built. But having said that, and of course, each of them have incubated different models, and they have also set up marketplaces where most of the models, like the authors of the models, are basically incentivized or even invited to participate and launch their models. So that has been absolutely crucial in the development that the platforms have played on the advancement of AI and the incubation or adoption of AI by the industry. But having said that, like the platforms by themselves need to get into a standardized mode at this point of time, where the platform means right now each platform has its own unique nuances. And of course, I think we all agree that to a certain extent Azure has taken the cake and done some more advancements than in terms of bringing the entire workflow together in a lot of with a lot of ease in comparison to the others. But having said that, it's not a race which has been won. It's a race which is in continuation. It is just about somebody being first to be there versus somebody who will keep it consistent and sustainable. So that's the interesting piece of the puzzle that we are still yet to see. But overall,
Okay.
there has to be a standardization across the platforms and across the models it hosted. That's still a consideration that should be looked upon.
Okay. And as you mentioned about all the nuances, now the key aspect which I could derive from here is the performance capabilities and the longevity of AI models as it varies widely. So some are definitely able to achieve enduring success and become the foundation for further development. But then we also see who quickly become very obsolete. So, how or say, what do you identify as the most significant challenge in ensuring the sustainability and relevance of AI models, specifically if I call today, which is the most rapidly evolving space for us?
Right. So, from sustainability standpoint, especially and the longevity of the models, I think there are the technical tactics are already in place. We have the strategies such as transfer learning. We have fine tuning and ensemble model creations, which can actually help in driving the sustainability part of it. But what basically is lacking today is the standardization. So, say it's most of the models in development with the universities as well and the innovation labs. So those are in silo, and though they are working not with a general framework in mind, but with a precise framework as to innovate. Now, the next phase of this is the standardization part that I was trying to highlight in my last section. So
Yep.
the standardization are frameworks, and there are going to be list of frameworks. They're not going to be one framework which there's no one model fits all, right? So there are going to be a list of like what you have seen in responsible AI, from inclusion to responsibility, so to accountability, to diversity, to what else was there? Sorry, transparency. So all these factors that basically frame the responsible AI, similar kind of standardization frameworks needs to be there across the platforms, which then will basically help in effective transfer learning, effective fine tuning, and also creation of ensemble models with similar architecture.
Okay. And as you have mentioned about, the assessment or the evaluation, another key aspect, specifically if I move towards the business value perspective from the stakeholders or say the both. So, budgetary support from the boardroom is actually crucial as we are advancing into AI initiative, because the kind of investment and time is being required, everything needs to be assessed, because I believe while the time is shrinking to develop new models, but still it requires time effort for the customization aspect as well for respective say industry or organization as well. So from your experience, how receptive have boardrooms been to supporting these AI projects, and what kind of strategies have proven effective in communicating these values on the table and the potential ROI for these investments?
Absolutely. So you are absolutely right on the business value proposition that needs to be very, very strong. And so what I've seen, and this is what based on the clients that I service or the project that I've worked on, to be precise. So there is still a limited understanding in the boardroom of what AI can do. Some expect it to be magic, and some are absolutely biased. And there is that, like the bridge that needs to be still gapped. And at this at the same time, so there is the fear of the unknown, right? So the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that still plays in people's mind. And of course, along with that, there are so many ethical considerations that are coming up that needs to be taken care of. So certain things, I think one of the most important piece that of the puzzle that I have seen still missing is there is not one uh, organization level or enterprise level responsible AI charter. I have seen
Okay.
that possibly missing. Possibly the charter exists, but that is more from a legal and accountability and responsible AI framework only, not for the adoption, right? So I feel that we are still operating with AI and trying to adopt and incubate it in our business processes in the fringes. We have not created one, strategy at a board level, which can basically help them in deciding the long-term growth plan, which is not 1 year, 2 year, but at least a 5 year growth plan, and as to see whether that makes sense for them, and thereby take a structured approach across. Because with the siloed innovations, that thing gets missing. And some of the things that you can do to actually help is a constant training of your leadership with the newest advancements that are coming up in the field of AI. A focus on the business value, look at what are the efficiencies that you can gain through automation by use of AI, as well as the predictability, the prediction of it, the recommendations that can drive business. So look at those parameters that basically can drive automation and recommendation, and thereby create a charter which will basically help you communicate your business value. Also, start small and scale up. We are starting small, but again, in the fringes, central charter is not there. And then, of course, the responsible AI frameworks of transparency, explainability all come in. And fourth, and very important, focus on the human AI collaboration. Today, it's still being looked at as something that are going to replace things or replace the current tech, replace people. It is not about replacement, it is about the collaboration which will help business derive the ROI that they need.
Okay. And with these thoughts only, Abhishek, that you have mentioned, I would say the absence of a charter, the compliance and regulations. We know there is a AI rule being passed in the EU region, but still other states or continents are still to follow the suit for that. And with absence of all these aspects and still a rapid evolution of progress that AI is making, do you perceive that the intent to use AI and its development, or say the interest of the varied stakeholders in an organization, is actually driving and shaping or giving the direction to AI research and applications?
Okay. See, from my standpoint, uh, the absence of it is going to not be a sustainable model for very long. Eventually, with the amount of funds that are being consumed by AI models and AI ML models and business decision making that's happening by virtue of that, so that would definitely ensure that an organization actually create such a charter. So I think we will see, like what we have seen about 3 4 years back, uh, in terms of chief data officers in the CXO layer, those the roles that were created. Similarly, you will see chief AI officers also being created, who will drive such policies within the organization by, of course, being cognizant of their global as well as regional or local laws of the state or federation. So those things are mandatory and those things will happen. There is no now the timeline for it will basically keep us on developing at the fringes, and thereby it might end up being a bottoms up approach of the fringes being automated, and thereby the senior management having to take a definitive call on bringing such policies in place, like what we see today the government's doing. So that's the only way to these things will flow from my viewpoint.
Okay, great. I would say this was definitely a very enlightening conversation, Abhishek, because it showed various perspectives, the challenges, the ticks and the crosses, because there are a lot many I's which are yet to be dotted and T's which are to be crossed. And we really look forward to how AI gonna continue to transform industries, explore its own evolution journey with some strategic thoughts, planning the applications, and ensure that they have a sustainable model also for themselves. So the executive support and stakeholder interest and intent is definitely will be really playing a very crucial role to navigate the ethical and the practical dimensions of AI. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me, and have a great day ahead.
Thank you, and thank you for all the audience of us for joining us today. And do keep watching this space for similar conversations. Till then, take care.